So here's my little book um, that I made in a box. Thought I would share it with you. I took an online workshop and we learned all the techniques for making this. So I used a little box from Joann's that was a Singer sewing tin box, and kind of sanded it and scuffed it up and tried to rust it some and tore it down, sawed the edges down and folded them down so it'd be a smaller box. So it would be what the size I was looking for. And then I found an old letter from my great-grandma to my mother on her 10th birthday. And so I made some Xerox copies of it. And here's the Sullivan postmark from 1940. And collaged those on the top with some, what is this, like bridal veil material. And a feather. And this is a crow. I had made a stamp, rubber stamp at one time, carved it, and I just cast it, a mold of it, and then poured some plastic in and made it's a little three-dimensional crow, and I put a necklace on it. And this is a drawer pull that I put in to open the box with. Then inside, this says follow the feather. And that's from a dream I had where I was chasing a feather across the backyard. And it just stuck with me. And this little penny here came from somebody, probably one of my aunts, had sewed a scissor holder from a pot holder, folded it over and gave it to Dad. And it had a penny in it. I took it apart because I liked the pot holder and I wanted to see the pot holder. And it had a penny in it because you always give a penny when you give something sharp. So I put that in here and just some paper from some other language. And then this is a little pouch with some little scrolls in it. Which was something else we learned to make. And I made this one really early on. It says glory, 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 glory. Because it was kind of a glorious, fun experience to be starting on this. And it's even more glorious to finish it. Because sometimes I don't. And there's another little scroll wrapped around a stick, and another scroll wrapped around a stick in here. So they all fit in this little secret pouch. So here's some more of the envelope. Underneath is a poem I found online about crows, and it doesn't quite, or a statement. It doesn't quite show through, but it talks about the crowiness of the crow's flight. And I just love that word, crowiness. And this is some imprint from a tea bag that left some different colors, and I thought it was so pretty. Some of the pages are just random pieces of fabric and some more of that, I can't think of what you call the real word for it. Here's a shell from the beach. And a little was a stencil, but I just liked it, that I made for sort of a lotus flower. So I stuck that on there. And here's another quote about crows being so smart that they need to do some training with them to keep them occupied and mentally stimulated. Here's the stamp from the crow on the front, the rubber stamp before, well, I still have it. This is a piece of rusted fabric. They sent out a supply, some sample supplies for the class, and there was this metal, round metal thing, which was kind of too big for my book, but I made a nice rusted piece of fabric. Here's another little stencil I had cut sometime. Here's my crow stamp again, and some beads and stitching. Some more of that tea bag impression. I really liked how it looked. And these little sticks are from the beach, from a vine I picked up. I have tons of stuff I pick up from the beach. And then I put a little book in a book here. So some little birds flying, and I found this really cool bottle cap also in the parking lot at the beach. So I just stuck some beads in there and wrapped it with some thread, and that went in there. And then just little designs. And we also had they sent a dragonfly, metal dragonfly in the kit, and I rusted around it, and then I added some other colored dots to it. Some more fabric and little doodads on the page turner. And then this is a little sort of quilt-like thing I put together and stitched in. And then if you lift it up, there's another little stencil that I made and wrote about just some growth, personal growth stuff. And then here's a tea bag, big tea bag that I glued down. And then I saw a really cute little video on Instagram of a little boy singing Bob Marley's Three Little Birds, where it says, "Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right." So I wrote that in there as a little hidden message. That was kind of seemed to go with my bird theme. And had another stencil that I'd made of a crow's face some time ago, and so I just stitched around that and added some other stuff to it. Netting, that's what I've been trying to think of. That's netting. And then I just wrote a little thing about crows. Crows get noticed strutting into the dining hall. If you ignore them, they howl. Another little page. It's a little piece of tarp that I think went through the lawnmower in our backyard. I keep finding little pieces of it, and I love the checkerboard around it. I threw a little wire in there, few little beads hanging down here. And then these aren't actually, I put blue jay feathers my gramp collected. I found these and they had a rubber band wrapped around them, but then they were long feathers, but they wouldn't fit in here. So I cut them up a little bit and put them in this little glassine container. And then my pages, I'd stitched them flat to the bottom of the box, but I couldn't turn them so that all the page could be seen. So I had to unstitch them, and I put, got a little shell piece down here. I put an eraser underneath them to raise them up so that now they have some slack in the cord holding them, and you can turn them, see what's in there. I have another scroll back here, and a little leaf. And the bottom of the book, oh gosh, this has gotten long, has more of the bird stamps and just postmark and stuff from something I found somewhere in a thrift store. So this is my latest project. While you're writing your stories, I'm sort of collaging a story. So I just thought I'd share it with you and let you see something I've been working on. And what was I going to say? It seemed like I must have done a search on Bookmaker, I can't remember the exact thing it's called, because all of a sudden any game I played or my Facebook feed all had ads in there for this story thing. So it looks wonderful, and I haven't sprung for the money to do it. I may just, I do some writing anyway, journaling and stuff. So, but it's cool to know about, and if you do ever want to share any of your stories, I'd love to read them. So, hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.